So we have the capital, Spirit City, over here. And what do we have in that precious capital of mine? Not much! Not that we can have much more, necessarily. As things stand, because we don't have enough lumber. Yes, the perennial problem. Here's Gallivant. Yes, patiently following the monarch over here. His sister, and desperately trying to deliver a tiny batch of reinforcements. Here's the sister herself on her way collecting things. The long-term plan was ultimately for me to get the ghosts once I have a big enough army, then have that troop of ghosts grow. And of course I want to collect all the bone dragons scattered across the map. That would be great, that would be quite awesome if I could just pick them up and add them to my ever-growing forces. Here's Ergon. He has already flagged this, and to remember I'm purple. And he's on his way back to the Liths to make his way over here. I am supposed to take Timberhill as soon as it is convenient and possible. Then there's Phineas over here. Is your name Phineas? You look like a Phineas to me. Of course it is. Well, here's Phineas, who is stuck. Now we could hypothetically take this fight, but it will not end well. However, there's a magic garden over here that I can repeatedly visit, so I guess this is the one thing he shall do. Repeatedly, on a loop. 5 gems, excellent. I'm gonna put him right where he is, right. Technically, I can just press space to reactivate what he stands on. And it takes 0 movement points whatsoever, so I can just plant him there, and as long as I remember he's on a magical garden, I can keep reactivating him. It feels like cheating, because in the original game you do have to move a guy aside, then move him back onto a given tile in order to activate it, but whatever. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter that much. It's not like it unbalances the game. Is there anything I can possibly get in the barbarian towns? Well, not really, and what would the reason for that be? It's because I do not have the lumber. Now there's some lumber over here, however I would have to fight lots of rangers, and I can't fight lots of rangers because I don't have the forces over here, and the guy is stuck, and I can't have the forces because, well, I would need to recruit them, and I can't recruit them because I don't have the dwellings, and I don't have the dwellings because I don't have the lumber in the first place. That's the summary. Let's move on. Alright. Now, once this guy dies, it's all over. So there's that to keep in mind. I can hypothetically try to recruit Medusas. There are many tents to visit as well. There's a lot of stuff to do in general. I'm not sure I just want to plow to the south, but these were my 2 plans. Plow to the south or plow to the west. Explore as much as possible, as early as possible. I'm not sure if I should actually roll with this. However, interacting with the campfire can just grant me some lumber. No, it's crystals and gold. How unfortunate. Now I can hypothetically head back and receive that tiny, ever tinier batch of reinforcements, or I can continue to plow south. Well, I have a save to go back to, if need be. So I guess I might as well explore a smidgen further. Now there are Medusas over here. I can recruit Medusas over there. My army will increase in diversity a bit. So that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself. I have to think about my ultimate composition that I'm aiming for over here. Bone dragons are almost inevitably going to be in that army. So are skeletons. I'd want to gather as many of them as I possibly can by taking as many fights as I can. If I am to incorporate ghosts, that's the 3rd stack taken, which leaves 2. If I want to incorporate Medusas, that just leaves 1. Which I could just spend on Arc Liches and be done with it. Not necessarily the worst of ideas. There's nothing this guy can do, and in general, there's basically nothing I can do. Unless I want to get a moat or something. Which I don't. Can't even get the marketplaces in order to be able to trade. Then there's the all mine over here, guarded by a pack of ghosts. I need to have such an overwhelming force that they will join me. Although, of course, that is not easy to accomplish. Enemy not quite at the gates, but over there to the west. Presumably I ought to head north and defend, or else I'll just lose it all. Perfect opportunity to deliver what few reinforcements there are. To Draconia. Wasn't I supposed to pick these guys up and upgrade them? I don't know. Gallivant can continue exploration over here, although, mind you, as I've already mentioned, if he dies and it's all over. Day 1, so new units available for recruitment in a variety of places. Might as well get them. That's WM enter, and here they are. How wonderful. I presumably should just settle for the unupgraded versions for the time being. I don't have the time to wait until I can actually upgrade the dwellings. And I need something right here, right now. Alright then, do I send Draconia west in order to be able to, well, possibly take that hero out? Or do I just take on the pack of vampires and gather what there is to gather? Over here, a pack of vampire lords. Can I take that on? Almost inevitably, yes. Let's see. Obviously, I should be able to take this on. Imagine me not being able to take this on. Of course, their attacks do not allow for counterattacks, so there's that to consider. But thankfully, I don't need to rely on counterattacks. Double damage. Because the zombies get lucky. That's it. I've lost 4 skeletons, received 2. Basic logistics or mysticism? Logistics, please. Necromancy and expert, all pathfinding and advanced. Pathfinding would be useful, wouldn't it? More movement points. Let's roll with that. Although, obviously, I do want more skeletons. Who doesn't? Here we are. I still have territory to explore over here. There's lots of dwarves over there guarding a sawmill. Come on! Alright, so here's the idea. I can't really get the other dwellings, but I presumably should just recruit what I can recruit. Add it to the army over here, and then plow south as quickly as I can to get the sawmill under my control. Come on now. Obviously. My problem is the lack of lumber. There's lumber right there that I can get on a steady basis. The earlier I secure that, the faster I can actually start getting useful things. I do have to be cautious though. Because Gallivant is over here. In no man's land, or at least what appears to be no man's land. These are, well, uncharted lands. And I am busy charting them as we speak. Some useful mines in the region that I can flag conveniently. Draconia was to possibly plow west. Fine, let's reveal territory a bit more. It's so soothing to be able to see incoming attacks. Granted, if I send her too far, she might be in danger. But we will see about that. I can always reload if things go south. Unlike, you know, going west. Alright, who was that mysterious knight? I see. Falagal and his army is, pathetic. Well, let's take him on. Fresh victims for my ever-growing army of the undead. Let's hope they don't take out any of my bone dragons. Yes, that's the best I can do at this juncture. Hope. Alright, then I can hypothetically block the elves, although there's not going to be much utility in that. There are only 2 greater druids. I don't know. These dwarves are mighty, though there are admittedly very few of them. I think I'll go for the elves instead. Actually, no. I'll defeat the peasants, block the elves. That's mighty silly, isn't it? But whatever. I'm not risking my bone dragons, my precious Dracoliches. And down the elves go. Let's see how many dwarves I can take out with the skeletons. Presumably I'll have losses, but hopefully not that severe. 69 skeletons. Oh boy. Okay, let's see what happens. No counterattacks, obviously, because they've already been attacked this turn. Low morale because of the living dead. All right. I'm slowly but surely dealing with the dwarves. Now, as I've mentioned numerous times, they are not to be underestimated. They are to be decimated. Hooray! Draconia has won. And the only losses were the skeletons, 69 of them, and 7 mummies. How many skeletons shall I receive? Never mind that, I've captured the lightning rod. Oh my goodness, if only I am to learn the lightning bolt spell. That's going to absolutely Oh, and the endless bag of gold, so that's 750 every single passing turn, and 21 skeletons. Also a level up, so let's take logistics unadvanced and be on our merry way. Should we head back? Or should we push our luck? Fine, I'll save, as scummy as this feels, and I will explore a bit further. Just to be on the safe side. Yes, I'm taking a risk to be safe. Makes perfect sense. Can I take on these dwarves? We already know that dwarves are tough. I've stated this numerous times. And I can never actually force myself to really take that seriously. After all, these are tier 2 units. They're relatively weak. They have no right to be so powerful, do they? But then again, they're dwarves. They do as they please. So obviously, if you expect absolutely amazing great things of them, that's not what they can possibly deliver, because they are tier 2 units. But I guess all I am ultimately trying to say, which isn't particularly enlightening, I guess, is that for tier 2 units, they're pretty sturdy. Yes, a very level-headed assessment. Maybe it's to compensate for weak E. That's a good point indeed. Although the sprites have a lot going for them. After all, the sprites do not allow for counterattacks, which has its utility. Although yes, if they do actually get attacked, they perish very quickly. Okay, easily dispatched. Losses were to sustain, but that doesn't really matter now, does it? What matters is that I finally have a sawmill under my control. And that's what I desperately need in order to be able to get higher tier dwellings everywhere. Right, next order of business, explore everywhere. I presumably should at least contemplate an assault on Timber Hill. How soon? I'll try to get the orcs from over here, then I'll go for Timber Hill immediately. Immediately afterwards. Here's gallivanting. And here's the Castle of Blackburn, with its defenders. As of yet unconquered. Right there, ripe for the taking. Oh, hello there. What do we have here? Luna, with an army. Can I take that army on? Let's see. Several centaurs. Alright, fair enough. A pack of zombies. Lots of skeletons, lots of peasants, and lots of goblins. I should be able to take that on relatively easily. And of course, that'll grant me Sheltenberg. another Necromancer's castle. I do need to get these under my control, obviously. This presumably, this obviously has been snatched. And obviously, I need to get it under my control. I can't just allow it to remain in enemy hands. Allow my foes to amass forces over there. If ever there was an ill-advised course of action. Alright, I can hypothetically get things. What do I want to get? I could get the mansion. Sorry, the upgrade to the mansion. But I think I'd rather wait for the mausoleum. I could get the marketplace, which will allow me to trade for lumber. Shrink the map of play. Indeed, indeed. But alas, alas, it doesn't. It's fascinating. You have all these sorts of games where you have the forces of light versus the forces of darkness. And then you have specific spells that are denoted as only affecting one faction or the other. And the same goes for this game, except there's only one faction with the living dead. So it seems horribly disproportionate. Yes, you can target undead creatures, or you can target non-undead creatures with a variety of spells. But if, say, there are no necromancers on the map, that's utterly superfluous. But I get the appeal in terms of flavor. Okay, I can get the stick huts, I can wait for the mausoleum, or I can upgrade the mansion. I am quite frankly tempted to upgrade the stick hut. I think that's the way to go. I will be able to bolster the forces of, what's your name? Ergon over here. Let's do just that. There's just not enough lumber to go around. Perhaps I should have instead taken the marketplace and started aggressively trading for lumber. Although that really drains resources quite quickly. It seems like I have a lot of all, 54 units of it, but the exchange rate, granted at the start, I think it's 20 to 1 or something as crazy as that. I would get rid of that all very, very quickly. So obviously having the option to trade is nice, but that doesn't mean that you should just always keep on trading. I'm just going to take the gold over here. And leave. I'm not taking Blackburn. I could also obviously pick up some peasants on my way, but I don't think that would be particularly practical. So yes, let's leave and then try to start delivering reinforcements to Draconia. Speaking of Draconia, she's got Luna to slay. A poultry falls, if ever there was one. Alright then, let's block the ranged unit and attack the melee one. An overall good dynamic. These noises are so loud. Those silly sound effects. Oh yeah, bloodlust on zombies, like that's gonna help. On 11 zombies, no less, and no more. She can't flee, by the way, because she's in a castle, even though it doesn't seem like it, does it? Ah yes, a bunch of peasants attacking 3 bone dragons. I admire their courage, but alas, alas. And of course, the best part about slaying peasants, casting bloodlust on zombies. They turn to fast zombies. Yes! Yes, you take them from the Night of the Living Dead zombies and turn them into Left 4 Dead zombies. Through eagle-eyed observation, Draconia is able to learn the magic spell Bless! Eagle Eye coming into play! Fancy that! And of course she got some skeletons. But hey, we're making the best out of Eagle Eye. This is top-tier Heroes of Might and Magic 2 gameplay right here. Ah, yes. Meme levels of greatness. If she could learn Lightning Bolt that way, now that would be spectacular. I don't think any other spells were cast. Well, there was Bloodlust, she could have obviously learned that. Also, she's only got the basics of Eagle Eye. Unfortunately, I guess we'll have to level up Eagle Eye for her to have a better chance of learning better spells. Or, you know, we could hypothetically just either build mage guilds or conquer towns with them already. Any other skill pick? No. No. I think it was once again I don't think it was even a choice. I think she started out with Eagle Eye. Yeah. Believe me, I don't hate Eagle Eye that much, but I don't hate it. I'm just of the opinion that it's the worst spell in the game, as basically any other competent player seems to be, but I don't hate it. So I don't have an emotional attitude, I just recognize it as being bad. You have to win the battle in order to make it roll. Yeah, but then again, thinking about it in macro terms, how many times can you actually lose a battle in Heroes of Might and Magic until you should just give up and start over or reload a save? Because as far as I can tell, things tend to snowball a great deal. I guess it's the sort of thing that tends to happen overwhelmingly in all sorts of strategy games. Once you make a sufficient number of mistakes, you're so far behind that any competent player, or AI for that matter, is just going to outpace you, and there is nothing you can do to get yourself back into the game. And the only way to actually counteract that is to just become competent enough to never make these mistakes in the first place, to never make that many mistakes in the first place, or to at the very least recognize when you're far enough behind and start over instead of torturing yourself by trying to continue on with a playthrough that is destined to fail. I guess it's a fundamental part of not even any subgenre, but the genre of strategy games in particular, that there's basically nothing you can do about. You just have to accept if you want to play strategy games. I know, that's the sort of thing that came to my mind when I was playing Master of Magic. It's just crippling, especially if you don't yet have the intuition as far as how many times you are allowed to fail. Alright, we should be able to get this under control, especially since we have stats and no heroes on the other side, not even a captain. Ah yes, Paul Olk. Polk. Sick 'em. Sublime. I'll do it. Ah, straight line, no obstructions. Glorious. Get those orcs. I absolutely had a big enough army. And now, lo and behold, it's under my control. What do I pick? Estates or navigation? Estates. Give me the gold. Give me the cash. There's a stick cut here already. Let's get the den. Anything else? Anything else? Ah, yes, the statue. Let's start out with the statue. Extra income. I would love to just stay on this screen and listen to the solo, but alas, alas, there is no time. What am I even rushing towards, really? Alright then. I can head further west to try to secure Sheltenberg. Or, you know, I could just try to return to the castle and get my reinforcements. I could also try to pick up the bone dragons to open up a path between the castles. Oh, and there's a big oak. Not sure what size that oak is exactly. And of course it is once again a town, not a castle, a town. And I would prefer for these to be castles, but once again I can't do that unless I have the right amount of lumber. Let's try to take on the bone dragons, see what happens. Will they join me? If they do not join me, I'm reloading. I swear, I'm reloading if they don't. Okay, they're actually interested in fighting me. No, we're not doing that. Perhaps I should have been able to see that coming. But then again, I have a reasonably sized army. Though I guess neither overwhelming enough for them to flee, nor to actually try to join. I think, ultimately, you get a chance for the units to want to join you if they actually want to flee. So you have to secure that first. Which I obviously clearly did not. Oh, view heroes! That sounds like a relatively useful spell. Show me the heroes. Okay. Let me squint. Alright then, so I can see my own heroes. That's not particularly enlightening, now is it? I've seen these guys already, I kinda know them. They're my guys! Blue heroes are over here. Largely to the southwest. And then there's red over here. With a little constellation of fall heroes. Right around here. In the middle of the map. I guess subduing the sorceresses would be in order, wouldn't it? If I can get rid of red quickly enough, well then I consolidate basically 3/4 of the map. I get this under my control. Wishful thinking, yes. This guy is trapped, isn't he? Then I get this under my control. One would hope that Elkan will be able to manage his little corner of the world. And then, of course, I will be able to get all of this under my control. Which poses a significant problem so far because all of these little necromancer towns are necromancer towns and I need them to be castles. But I can't quite make them into castles now, can I? Because I don't have the lumber. So what do? I could hypothetically try to go for the red heroes, eliminate them as quickly as humanly possible, be done with that. That's indeed what has been suggested, well, in the other campaign, hasn't it? That securing the lumber via the sorceress's castles is the way to go. Is it? I do not know. I've gotten the statue over here. The stick cut is already present over there. But I can get another stick cut over here. Delaying the transformation of this town into a castle even further. Is this worth it? But then again, if I don't do that, then my poor hero Phineas over there is not going to get the forces anytime soon. And therefore he'll not be able to break out of his confinement. And if he doesn't break out of his confinement, guess what? He'll not be able to attack the rangers, which means he will not be able to get the lumber. So yes, in general, in principle, in almost every single circumstance, playing passively is the wrong way to go about things. It's not even playing... No, it kinda is playing passively. If I were to just try to accumulate the lumber slowly, that is the wrong way to go about it. Yes, accumulate lumber slowly, and once you get 20 units of it, turn this into a castle. No, no, I need the benefits right now. So I need to make use of the lumber right now, get the orcs, take the orcs, put them on Phineas, slay the rangers, take the extra lumber over there, use that lumber to get units elsewhere, get all the resources from the map, secure some mines, and then get a huge surge of lumber to transform these towns into castles. That's the way to go about things as far as I can tell. Although once again, I can be horribly mistaken. Yes, because at this juncture I have certain intuitions as far as these games are concerned, but still don't know anything for sure. I just don't know. Obviously one might argue that to an extent it's a matter of playstyle, and to an extent it's a matter of objectively better choices. A horde of dwarves. It's quite a few dwarves. Packs of other things and several unicorns. Can I take that on? I should be able to take that on, yes. Although, this is getting more and more intimidating by every single passing moment. I'm going to need my reinforcements, but for that I'm obviously going to need Gallivant over here to reach the castle, take the reinforcements and actually deliver them to Draconia. Alright. Making it another save. Let's see if I can actually defeat Rathmund. Do I have better stats than him? Ow. Ow. And ow. That leaves the bone dragons. That leaves me with 2 bone dragons at 85 hit points. Well, the top one at 85 anyway. 5 attack and 2 defense versus 2 attack and 2 defense. Not good. I could almost... No. I could certainly try to blind the dwarves, but the dwarves are resistant to magic, so that's likely to end very poorly. If I don't do that, well, I'm putting myself in even greater danger. So who do I blind? This is a tier 2 and this is a tier 3 upgraded unit. I'll probably go for the druids with the bone dragons. Yes, that have been severely weakened. This might end very poorly. Very poorly indeed. And even if it doesn't end very poorly... Okay, one left! Even if it doesn't end very poorly on the spot, it might just be the beginning of the end. Because even if I barely win this fight, what then? Right, I can blind additional units. Let's blind the unicorns. Like, I could blind the... No, I think blinding the unicorns is a significantly better choice. Let's blind the unicorns. And carry on. Maybe I should have blinded the rangers. If I move the bone dragons, the druids will be free to fire. If I attack them, presumably, they'll just kill all the bone dragons, of course. I can scarcely believe this. It's because I haven't picked up reinforcements, isn't it? I can obviously send this. This is not a big enough force to take that force on. Not at this stage, and presumably not originally. Alright, so what exactly am I supposed to do under the circumstances then? I could refuse to attack Raffman, but I think it's a bit too late for the regrets here. He's got the stats, he's got the force. I don't have the magic and I don't have the reinforcements. So hypothetically, I can earlier just go back with Draconia, pick up reinforcements and then try to engage Raffman, hoping for a different outcome. There's also the matter of ghosts over here. All you know, the ghosts over there. They're growing in power. I'm not sure I'll be ever able to pick them off the map. So what on earth am I supposed to do? I don't foresee the encounter with Raffman ending any differently. No matter what I do in that fight. He's just... he's got significantly better stats. He's got 5 attack versus 2 defense. Yes, and 2 defense versus 2 defense. And 2 defense versus my 2 points of attack. So his units just deal more damage than they ordinarily would. And he's got a bigger army. Granted, I have those 3 bone dragons, but not for long. How far do I have to rewind to be able to make the right choices? And will I even be able to make those right choices if I rewind? Because I don't foresee that happening. Suppose that I were to rewind before the fight. What exactly am I supposed to do? Refuse to engage Raffman? Are there any possible reinforcements over here? I guess I could get a handful of skeletons. That's not gonna do me any good. I could try to slip by him, but for all I know, he's just going to pursue. So that's no good either. Although I can obviously try that. I could try to plow to the southwest. I don't think that's gonna help. I need the reinforcements and I cannot get them. What happens if I do this? He just goes into the castle and sits there. Okay. Well then, I guess I can evade him. Because he's intimidated by my forces, despite the fact that I can't actually defeat him. As far as I can tell, anyway. This buys me a bit of time, means I can go here, Galavant can go there, pick up the forces, give reinforcements, and with those reinforcements, hopefully, I'll be capable of taking that guy down and out. North or south? South for now. Oh great, lots of Minotaur Kings. Can't take those on. Just collecting orcs over here. I was about to say like the Pokemon, but not exactly like that. Not anywhere near that, actually. They're not unique by any stretch of the imagination. Alright then. Let's pick up all the units over here, integrate them into Phineas's army, and then, finally, try to take on the Rangers. Here comes Raffmond. His forces have not been bolstered in the slightest, but he's on his way. He's found the courage within him to march out and try to take me on. Alright. Oh, the Rangers wish to accept me. Thank you. And now behold, the lumber. I have 13 units of it. Need 7 more to be able to upgrade towns to castles. Although, at this stage, I don't have the towns. Fancy that. And he's gone. He's decided to go south. Hasn't explored far enough. So he doesn't know where to go, the poor guy. He's lost track of me. And is just stumbling about, dazed and confused. Alright, these reinforcements ought to be enough. Ought they really? I don't know about that. Doesn't seem that way, at least intuitively. More mummies. I need to take the unupgraded mummies, then upgrade them. Some skeletons, the zombies, and that's about it. Gallivant can carry the purse. The endless purse of gold. This purse. Yes, meanwhile, as far as we have plenty of gold, so we absolutely can afford to recruit all of these units. I should also pick up all the orcs. I should repeatedly pick up all the orcs from the region. Yes, and then use the orcs as a mighty force against my foes. That is indeed the way to go. At least as far as I can see. There's lots of nomads over there. I'm glad I have rangers on my side. I can also construct the adobe, yes. And I think that might be... Hold on, no. Well, let's get the mausoleum. Right, tier 6 units. Unupgraded, though. However, getting the upgrade is something I can do relatively quickly. Alright, fine. If only I could get a tiny bit more. Lumber, obviously. And then I could start getting additional Dracoliches out of that castle, and then we're home free. Yes, indeed, that's something I should rush for. Now I hesitate, yes, I hesitate to agree with my own statement. Classic. Alright. Tier 5. Oh, no, sorry, of course, no, not exactly. You need the second level of the Mage Guild, after which point you need the upgrade to the Mausoleum. Shouldn't have gotten these guys. Well, you know, I can just reload. Who's gonna stop me? Fine. So the plan is to get second level of the Mage Guild, and the next turn get the upgraded Mausoleum. At which point I will finally get the Dracoliches. Sorry, Dracoliches? No, the Liches, the actual Lich, the Arch-Liches actually. And I'll take them instead of what? The zombies? Quite possibly? Yeah. Guess that is indeed the answer. There are some other units in the area I should also clear out. There are the ghosts. There's the matter of the ghosts. There's lots of them, and for all I know, they'll fight me. But then again, what do I know? Upgraded mummies. Now that's much better. Much more impressive falls. Have we actually... No, we haven't plundered the graveyard. I think we presumably ought to. There might be something to be found. Although I don't know at this point. Maybe we should just retake the town. Or maybe we should take this town instead, you know. Have it on our side, then go for the other town. For all I know, the Bone Dragons will now be willing to join me. Although I do not know that for sure, obviously. Oh, and Draconia hasn't visited the mercenary camp. That would be mighty handy, wouldn't it? Her attack is particularly paltry. I might as well take on the balls. They're tier 2, they should fall. Alright. Oh, the nomads wish to accept me. How is this guy so charismatic? What is going on here? Look at Phineas over here. Incredible. Maybe they've been scripted to accept. Well, maybe at a certain point, possibly not immediately. But things are going quite smoothly. Well, with certain hiccups, I guess. Certain very notable hiccups. I've almost lost all hope. But other than that, we're doing just fine. Let's conquer the big oak. Obviously I can take that on. My biggest worry, of course, are going to be the resources necessary to transform this into a proper castle, nothing else. Even losses will not necessarily be sustained too heavily. Look at this. No hero, no problems. Just a handful of zombies left. And down they go. 11 skeletons and mysticism on basic. Big Oak is now mine. I can recruit vampire lords over here. Now that is mighty handy. Let's upgrade the vampires I have right now onto vampire lords. Would you look at that? This has worked out incredibly to my advantage. Alright, how about I try this? I'm going to leave the zombies behind and I'm going to try to attack the ghosts. To see if they actually decide to join me. There's plenty of them. I still have my silly skeletons. If they decide to attack, it's going to be among the worst decisions possible. But if it works out, it's going to be quite to my advantage, quite in my favor. So let's ultimately see. Let's see what happens. Let's take this silly risk. No, they decide to fight me. Which is absolutely and completely not worth it. I don't want to clear the path out. There's not enough for them to multiply. So that's also something to keep in mind. Hypothetically, I could take this fight and they are not going to be able to kill enough of my skeletons in order to be able to just keep on growing. But still, I don't want to get false skeletons out of this encounter. That's utterly and completely pointless. I don't need the skeletons that desperately. What I want are the ghosts, but they're probably scripted not to join me. It would be a smidgen too amusing if they were to join me, wouldn't it? I'm going to leave the zombies behind anyway. Even though the mutant zombies, which I obviously appreciate, I want the vampires instead. Presumably I should also add Medusas at some point, but no. Let's leave things well enough alone for now. Here come the paltry reinforcements, fine. The mummies wish to join me, 14 of them. For a price. Let's pay the price. It's quite a few tier 3 units. And what does this guy have? He's got a false, certainly. Can I take that false on with the extra mummies I have? Because that's the biggest addition to my, shall we say, arsenal. I don't necessarily think so. That's kind of the problem. Well, let's try to take him on anyway. If it ends poorly, I'm going to reload yet again. Can we actually defeat the balls? We'll find out. I do want those resources, and I am not willing to put that off for too long. I'm not gonna get bored to death. And the wolves are trapped. Six of these, 7 of those. Down they go. Losses sustained, estates unadvanced. Access to resources. As far as Phineas is concerned, he's got access to this place. There's plenty to explore. That's the next order of business. Explore over here, this entire corner. Even though we've seen it before. Well, let's see more of it, I guess. All of these watchtowers are absolutely incredible as resources. Look at this. There are further watchtowers. If I equip L-Gun sufficiently, this could be quite an overwhelming force. Now, I guess I have to play it safe to some extent, as far as, well, the rest of my forces, as far as my undead forces are concerned, but L-Gun's forces can grow quite mighty. Look at this. There's a watchtower here, and a watchtower there, so that's 2. A 3rd one here, 4th one, and a 5th one. And a 6th one over there. 6 watchtowers, each of them generating a number of orcs every single week. And if they're not picked up, they just wait there. They stack up until someone picks them up. That can grow to be quite an abundance of orcs very quickly. I know that's just a tier 2 unit, and I know that you have to upgrade them afterwards, but this can come in handy. Right, what do we have on offer? What can we get? What should we get? What will we get? Presumably the den over here. Say 7 though, I could hypothetically get the well. Enough. We'll get the den and other things further down the line. I just gotta remember to upgrade Timber Hill. Can I actually take on Rathmont with what I have? It would be oh so lovely and convenient, especially since he seems to have taken a liking to the living dead and now has zombies at his disposal, yes. Alright, first and foremost, let's blind the druids. All 15 of them. That ought to serve as well. And let's try to deal with the elves. Plenty of vampire lords have revived. There's 23 of them now. March onward with the mummies. There's 57 of them, which is plenty. Dracoliches shall take on the unicorns. Yeah! And they all go down. The druids have been unblinded. And therefore, I lose a single Dracolich, alright? Let's try to mess with the druids using the vampire lords. Can I manage? I don't know. It's gonna be rough. Let's bless the I'm not gonna be able to bless the vampire lords, obviously. Come on now. They're tough. Alright, fine. Let's use the mummies against the dwarves. Might possibly curse them as well. Yes! The dwarves are cursed. Of course they are. Always have been. Let's put more pressure on the druids. But that blocks the skeletons. Only until the Dracoliches die, I guess. All unless I'm willing to move the vampires. The vampire lords. Fine, let's attack the dwarves with the vampire lords. My See, that's what happens. That's what happens with dwarves. They have just slain both of the Dracoliches, just like that. Slaughtered! Ah, but they have low morale. Oh boy. Dispel whatever was on them. And attack them. No retaliation, because these are the vampire lords. There's 23 of them. Ow. 29 left. And they're cursed. But they're so fast, it doesn't matter. I have prevailed! If barely. I guess I had to fall back once. And of course I have suffered heavy casualties. Most importantly, the 3 Dracoliches, as I call them. Well, you know, bone dragons. But I can get more of them further down the line, so these losses may be acceptable. I've also defeated Ravman, possibly the strongest hero for the Red Faction. Red Faction? No, wrong type of game. I get the Holy Hammer. I get what now? The Spiked Helm. And 28 skeletons. Let's get Eagle Eye on Advanced. Actually, Ballistics might be... No, I'm going to lay siege to plenty of places. Ballistics is the way to go. The what? +5 attack? That's bonkers. That's absolutely insane. And there's +1/+1 from the helmet. But my goodness, she's 8'3" now, and I don't mean that she's very tall. Who cares about the Dracoliches? Look at how much this has swung things in my favor. Look at this madness. This absolute insanity in terms of stats. Now, sure, I need to recover desperately in terms of the army, but thankfully on one hand it's day 1. Oh yes, I can recruit a number of zombies and include them in my army. Well, I have those I have left over there. I guess they weren't to my liking. How about I pick them up again and add them to my army again? Or how about instead I actually recruit the Medusas? That sounds like a worthwhile endeavor. Also, let's not forget these power liches I wanted to include in my forces. So that's also a consideration at the very least. There's the mansion I could hypothetically get, but most importantly, I need to get the laboratory. And for that, I just need 2 more units of lumber, and then the Dracoliches will keep on coming. Week after week. Constructed from the bones of dead dragons. These wonderful, unholy abominations of mine. We're scouring the earth upon a hidden chest containing the ancient artifact. Holy Pendant. Makes troops immune to curse spells. My undead troops are already immune to curse spells, but I guess this guy can possibly stand to benefit from this. His little orcs will no longer be curseable. Alright, I start out with 61 and I get 3 more orcs. Now, just getting 3 orcs may not sound like a lot, but let me remind you, 6 of these. So that might be 18 additional orcs every single week. It's quite a few orcs every single week. So what do? Fall back? Presumably we do fall back. Otherwise this is going to end very poorly for Draconia. And if she's in mortal danger right now, gets immediately attacked by one of Rathman's lackeys, well, she's done for. But the vampire lords have done an admirable job of surviving all of that chaos. Leeching life from the enemy forces with every single attack. Ah yes, I was also supposed to remember to upgrade Timberhill, so let's keep that in mind as well. We are getting the Den. More units for Ergan's army, which should eventually make its mark on the world. I'm just going to pick up a couple of orcs, recruit a couple of additional units, possibly finally pick up this artifact, and then he's going to take care of his own quadrant of the world. Right, Draconia is fine. Well, relatively speaking, I guess. So we're sending her on her merry way to get the reinforcements. We're sending this guy to get the orcs. We're sending Phineas. Actually on his way to explore, so it's not that bad. Get the gold. Look at how much gold I have. Orc chiefs. Now they could join him. I get the feeling that they won't for whatever illogical reason. Let's explore. Let's actually visit the magical gardens and then possibly what? Get something at the marsh home. I'm not gonna get the adobe. Instead, with the 10 units of lumber I have, I'm going to get the laboratory. Behold. Yes. And obviously I'm going to send everyone to the intended destination. Nothing nothing particularly fancy. More goblins? Why not? More goblins it is. Anything here? No. Don't have the resources. Don't have the resources. Anything here? No. Don't have the well, no. Don't have the... Well, yeah, I guess I don't have the resources. All the things to get necessarily. Well, Max, enter. That's about it. Although I did, unfortunately, also get some zombies that I don't want to lug around with me. Also, I am going to need to upgrade the vampires to vampire lords. But other than that, those are the reinforcements I want. Those are the reinforcements I need. Those are the reinforcements I am gonna get. Well, in that case, I guess I might as well send Draconia over here to the graveyard that we have not yet visited. Might as well plunder it, try to find something though. I don't know, resources, whatever we can get. Anything over Timber Hill that we can get? We need lumber for this. To get the bridge, we need the adobe, for which we need lumber. Same old song. Let's plunder the graveyard. It's quite a lot of mutant zombies. Can we actually take them on? We are about to find out. Of course we can. Especially with all those extra points of attack. That hammer taking off of Rathman is going to be such a boon. Although I guess units run away from you based on the Mightyville army, not on the artifacts you have. So it won't help me recruit the bone dragons. It'll just help me slay whatever actually decides to attack me. Skip this because of potential friendly fire incidents. And that's about it. Nothing lost, skeletons gained, some experience gained in the process. And we find something, the endless pouch of crystal. That gives me a crystal a day, and I also get some gold. Fancy that. It was absolutely worth it. Alright, how about we plunder another graveyard, or should I just... Actually, we have Shadowtenberg, I don't need to conquer it. Well, in that case, how about I cast View Heroes to see where the enemy heroes are exactly? Oh, they're mingling over here. Are they working together? It's quite possible. There's only one enemy hero in the region, and it's this guy. Whoever that is. Assuming he's a guy. There's also this castle I have not yet conquered. I presumably should send Draconia over there to take it. There's some resources in the region. Most importantly, there are these bone dragons that I would really, really love to add to my forces. But alas, I'm not powerful enough yet to take them. Well, to take them on. I can take them on. I just can't acquire them. I would love for them to just join me. But I'll have to wait. yes, my next order of business, as far as I can tell, is to get to Blackburn. And, well, to go to the cemetery. Actually, cemetery, whatever, graveyard. To visit these 2 graveyards, plunder them, and then head south to Blackburn. Get Blackburn. And then quite oh, look, lumber. And then quite possibly get the Sorceress's territory. Also, most importantly, I should put Elgan to some use. He's got a relatively strong army, and once I bolster it with what I can get out of these 2 castles, it's going to be quite mighty indeed. He should make use of that. And he should explore all the territory to the southwest. Not of him, but relative to the center of the map. Get all the resources he can possibly get, keep on getting more orcs every single time he has the opportunity to conquer as many towns as he can on his own, possibly get rid of some enemy heroes. He is a secondary consideration, granted, he's a secondary hero. He has managed to acquire, to get to level 3. But I think there's a lot he can get done, especially with the forces he can commandeer. Even though it, in the end, it doesn't seem that impressive that he'll be able to get them on. Ultimately, enough stuff accumulates in these castles for it to be worthwhile. And of course, if I do get enough lumber to be able to get higher tier units, that's going to be even more impressive. But even with the first 3 tiers in relatively high numbers, he should be able to have enough of an impact, I would say. But for now, thank you for watching, and you will see me elsewhere.